But why is it in the bathroom? I mean, god damn it. Yeah! We're back, you guys. Well, technically, we're not back. Check this out, right, guys? I promise I am doing everything I can so we can get back to our regularly scheduled programming. It's just that I got a new job, and then I'm trying to basically fix up a new place, so I can be closer to the job. Check this out, right? I have no problem doing the job and then, you know what, hanging out with you guys every weekend. It's just that I'm in the middle of a rock and a hard place right now, since I'm trying to adjust to the new workplace, and then I'm trying to basically set everything up in my new place. So, for tonight, this is all we have. At least, you know, for this weekend, this is all we could get. But I promise you, right, you guys, we will be returning to a new schedule as soon as I set everything up. Okay, so check this out. Tonight, actually, no, not tonight. Actually, for this whole month, for our Chinese brethren out there, or at least, you know, those who practice their traditions, it's actually the Hungry Ghost Month. September 6th is supposed to be the height of the festival, so it's tomorrow or tonight, depending on which side of the hemisphere you're on. And the whole thing is supposed to go from here. Okay, so 6th is the festival, and then I guess it all depends. Whichever whichever side of the hemisphere you're on. Okay, so how it's explained is that when the veil between the spirit world and the mortal realm thins, influenced by Chinese tradition, where the seventh lunar month sees spirits, especially restless ancestors, roaming the earth. Okay, lunar calendar, hold on. Anyways, it's supposed to last for a month. Hold on. 25. All right. So yeah, September 6th is the festival date, but it's supposed to start from the 23rd of August, and then it's supposed to end on the 20th of September, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, yeah, yeah. Hopefully I'm right, guys. If I'm wrong, please put it down in the comments. Now, why are we talking about the Hungry Ghost Month? For the simple reason that, check this out, right? Um, about 2 weeks back, when it began, something strange happened. We were supposed to check out this new tabletop place. Basically, we're looking for a new venue to play our Song of Ice and Fire, you know, miniature war game stuff. And I got to this new place first. So I parked the car, but here's the thing. The moment I opened the door and my foot landed on the pavement, I was overcome with this feeling of dread, as if a switch was turned on and every inch of my body like screamed that I needed to get out. Just, you know what, close the door, keep on moving. Like, it didn't make any sense, for the simple reason, like, for some reason my spider senses like started ringing. It was in the middle of the day, it was a public place, people were, you know, you were moving around, and but for some reason every inch, or my instincts have told me to basically just get out of that place as fast as possible. I have no idea why, but I did. All right. So basically, I started, you know, the group chat. I started, you know, messaging people in the group chat. Guys, I'm not going. All right. We're not playing here to. We're not playing here today. Today, we're not playing here tonight. We're getting out. So that's what I did. So we went to our regular place for that evening, and what was that all about? So I explained it to them, about what happened, or about how I felt about that place. And one of the guys there, who belongs to a traditional Chinese family. Oh, don't worry about it, man. It's Hungry Ghost Month. I mean, they even their family even canceled like a couple of trips, or some plans for this particular month, just so they keep in with the tradition. And that's why I'm having trouble. I was supposed to move into this new place, but I still haven't yet. You know what? My spider senses are tingling. Might as well follow their traditions because you know what? What's the harm, alright? So I thought might as well check this video out of things to do and what not to do during the Hungry Hungry Ghost Month. Hold on, I'm just going to turn on the lights. I am not doing this with the lights off, okay? Alright,
Hong Kong
disclaimer.
is full of interesting ghost stories.
Yes, it is.
Tonight, we have two pretty scary ones shared by a woman.
Ooh.
Let's call her Maggie. Maggie is in her 30s now, but these two incidents happened to her when she was young, 2nd grade to be exact. She no longer sees spirits now that she's older. The things she's seen at the time have haunted her since.
Really now?
Maggie remembers this incident so vividly, not just because it was so creepy, but because of how normal it all felt to her at the time.
Huh.
She didn't really notice anything was wrong until later on. She was only in the 2nd grade when it happened. Her parents had pulled her out of school for a few days because a family friend had passed away. This family friend lived in a rural part of China, so Maggie and her parents had to travel up from Hong Kong to attend the funeral. They took a bus up to Shenzhen first, then had to transfer to another one at a big terminal. It was at this station where a string of strange events started to unfold for Maggie. Maggie remembers it so clearly. While she and her parents were waiting for that next bus, she met a little girl. The girl looked to be about her age, maybe a little bit older, so Maggie called.
I mean, the thing about Hong Kong is that you could literally go through the entire place on a bus and it would take you like half a day or something.
Her 姐姐. That's what we call a girl that's older than us in Cantonese. It
So, older sister.
translates to older sister. The two of them hit it off right away. They spent the whole time at the station just running around, laughing, chasing each other, doing all the silly things kids do to
I mean, so easy for kids to make new friends.
pass the time. But eventually, the transfer bus pulls in. Maggie's parents called out to her, told her to stop running around. The bus was here. It was time to go. To Maggie's surprise, the 姐姐 was getting on the same bus.
Huh.
She was thrilled. That meant she would have someone to play with during the ride. And that's exactly what they did. There weren't many passengers on that bus, so a lot of the seats were still empty. Maggie remembers leaving her parents in the front. They were trying to nap, and heading toward the back with the girl to keep playing. They ran around the empty rows, giggling, jumping between the seats, like it was their own little playground on wheels.
Aww.
Her parents were not the strictest, and let her do what she wanted. Time passed. Eventually, they arrived at their destination. Everyone got off the bus, and Maggie followed her parents toward a small hotel nearby.
But she didn't.
Or, it was more like a motel really. Just a simple place to spend the night before attending the funeral the next morning. It was in the middle of nowhere, but close enough to the bus stop that they could walk. As they made their way there, Maggie noticed that the 姐姐 was still with them. She was walking in the same direction, a little bit behind them, but it seemed like she was heading toward the same place. Maybe she's staying at the same hotel, Maggie thought, excited. It never crossed her 2nd grade mind that something was off, that this 姐姐 didn't seem to have any parents with her. She was just quietly walking by herself. The hotel itself wasn't anything fancy.
That was a bit strange.
The room was on the 3rd floor, and Maggie remembers it clearly because it had a small balcony that overlooked the front of the building. That night, she kept going in and out between the room and the balcony, peeking over the railing, then ducking back inside, and then giggling. Eventually, her mom got annoyed. "Maggie, why do you keep running in and out? Settle down." Maggie replied, "Mommy, the 姐姐 that took the bus with us, she's still downstairs. She didn't come up. She's standing down in the front." Her mom looked confused. "Who? What are you talking about?"
Oh my god.
She walked over to the
Look
balcony
at that
and glanced
90s film time step on the right.
down at the front of the hotel. There was no one there. "Maggie, there's no one outside. Get your butt inside and go to bed," her mom said. But Maggie was sure. She saw that 姐姐 standing right down there, as clear as day, in a matching Hello Kitty t-shirt and shorts outfit. "That's enough, Maggie," her mom said, a little more firmly this time. "Get back inside." Maggie went inside reluctantly, and her mom followed, sliding the balcony door shut behind them. The next morning, Maggie and her parents got dressed. They made their way to the funeral. It was for a close family friend of her parents, someone important to them. But to Maggie, this person was basically a stranger. Maybe they had held her once or twice when she was a baby, but she had no memory of them. This was Maggie's very first funeral, and to a second grader, everything felt strange and new. The clothes, the incense, the somber mood. She was more curious than sad. Before they went in, Maggie told her mom she needed to go pee. Her parents were busy greeting other family members who were arriving now too, so her mom just nodded and told her to go ahead. Maggie went off on her own. She went to the bathroom and did her business, and just as she was stepping out from the toilet stall, she noticed an older auntie standing in the bathroom, looking right at her.
Christ.
The auntie was smiling.
Look at that 90s time step.
"Hey Maggie," she said cheerfully.
Aw.
"You're such a good girl. You came all the way up with your parents too?" Maggie didn't recognize her at all. She had no idea who this auntie was, but since she knew her name, she assumed it was one of her parents' friends.
Alright, so this particular little girl has the gift of sight.
Maggie, being polite, just smiled shyly and nodded. Then she turned and quickly ran out of the bathroom.
Wait, I thought this video was about, never do this in Asia during Hungry Ghost Month. Because after that little experience, here's the thing. I'm a whistler. I like to whistle. And apparently it's one of the biggest no-nos during the Hungry Ghost Month.
Heading back out to her parents. When Maggie found her mom again, she tugged on her sleeves. Mommy, I met an auntie in the bathroom. She said I was a really good girl for coming." Her mom, still chatting and mingling with the other adults, barely looked down. "Oh yeah? That's so nice, honey." Then she turned back to the conversation. Soon, it was time for the funeral to begin. Everyone lined up, moving slowly, one family at a time, toward the casket to pay their respects. When it was Maggie's family's turn, her mom picked her up gently, and they walked together toward the front. Her mom leaned in and whispered, "Alright, sweetie, say farewell to Auntie Lynn. She bought you a lot of toys when you were a baby.
That was
She was always so
predictable.
kind to you." Maggie looked down in the casket and froze. It was the same auntie she had just seen earlier in the bathroom.
The problem is, why is she hanging out
Maggie
in the
went
bathroom?
completely still. Her heart was pounding now. She might have only been in the second grade, but she was old enough to know what death meant. She understood that if someone was lying in a casket, they
Dead.
couldn't also be
Dead,
chatting
dead,
with you in
dead.
the bathroom minutes before.
But why is it in the bathroom? I mean, god damn it.
So how? How is this even possible?
The
Fear rushed
gift
in.
of sight.
Maggie couldn't look anymore. She turned her face into her mom's neck and clung tight, too scared to say anything. The rest of the funeral passed by in a blur. Once it wrapped up, they headed back to the hotel to grab their things and began the long journey back to Hong Kong. Once they got to the bus stop, guess who Maggie saw there again?
Oh, it's a
It was the same Zeze she saw the day before, still wearing the same Hello Kitty outfit. "Mommy, look, the Zeze is still here," she said, eyes lighting up. "She's getting on the bus again too."
It's like in every Asian culture, there's this almost always this term or very affectionate term for older brother, older sister.
Her mom, now clearly unsettled, gently put a hand on her shoulder. "Honey, I think you should sit with me and Dad on the bus today, okay? You're really tired. I think you need a nap." And honestly, her mom was right. Maggie was exhausted. The travel, the funeral, the strange
Yeah.
emotions, it had worn her out. So this time, she stayed up front with her parents. No running around. She curled up beside her mom and fell asleep for most of the ride back to Samsan. But somewhere behind them, at the very back of the bus, the Zeze was still there, waiting for Maggie to come back there to play with her again.
Oh,
So Maggie didn't find out about this next part until she was
I mean, sad.
much older. But after they got off the bus in Samsan that day, while Maggie was still half asleep, her mom went quietly around asking the station staff,
There was child.
security guards, attendants, anyone who might know. She asked if they have ever seen a little girl, maybe around Maggie's age, hanging around the terminal alone. One of the older station workers hesitated, then told her something. A little girl had passed away here not too long ago. She had been hit by a car just outside the station,
Of course.
a tragic accident, and she was around the same
I've always had this question, like, for example, with regards to the spirits of dead children, where do they go? And, I forgot the name of that, film. I knew there was a remake, the one with Liam Neeson was in that particular remake. It's supposed to be, in this haunted asylum. So if a person was crazy during his lifetime, and if he died in a demented manner or in a violent manner, and he was demented in real life, would he be would his spirit also be demented? Would his ghost also be demented? Can someone please put it down in the comments? Thank you.
May just Maggie. So what do you guys think about this incident? It's a common
Typical.
belief in Asia that people are all born with the third eye, a spiritual perception.
Yeah.
But as we grow
So it's a matter of just, the whole thing being open or closed, or things being well, never having really opened or never having really been closed or something.
older, this third eye closes. This explains why a lot of children are able to see spirits, while most adults can't. Young kids are
From what book was that, or what film was that? Where do you think imaginary friends come from or something?
pure and less bound to logic or the material world, so they are thought to remain open to unseen forces. Also, kids are more intuitive and less skeptical.
Yep.
They aren't conditioned yet to ignore or rationalize strange experiences, so it's said that they can perceive spiritual presence more easily than adults.
Hmm.
Do you guys think this is one of those examples? Was Maggie's third eye still open when she was in the second grade, giving her the ability to see the zeze and the auntie?
Hmm.
Maggie's experiences doesn't just end here. She has another pretty chilling story that she shared. This one happened only a few months after the zeze incident we just shared, and it happened during Hungry Ghost Month in Hong Kong.
Of course.
I've briefly talked about what this month is in prior episodes, so I'm just going to move on to the story for now. But I can talk more about this event at the end of this episode in more detail, for those of you who are interested. So Maggie came home from school one day with nothing to do. Her mom asked her to come downstairs to help her burn joss paper, offerings for the dead. It was during Hungry Ghost Month, so this kind of thing was pretty normal. Maggie didn't think much of it and said, sure, since she had nothing going on anyway. Her mom carried the old
you're a
metal
kid.
bucket they used for burning, and Maggie followed behind, lugging 2 plastic bags full of joss paper and other little paper goodies, fake money, gold ingots, and even tiny paper shoes, all meant to be sent to the spirits in the afterlife. As they made their way downstairs, her mom gave her a serious look. Alright, she said, when we're burning the offerings, do not run around. Don't say anything disrespectful. Just stay by my side and behave.
Be still.
Maggie, being her usual cheeky self, nodded, but not without a little deal making first. Okay, she said, but only if you buy me candy after. Her mom laughed. When did you become such a little negotiator? Then she smiled. Alright, fine. If you behave and stay close, I'll bring you to the store after we're done. Deal. Once they were outside, Maggie did exactly as she promised. She followed her mom,
girl,
helped set
always
everything
listen to
up,
your
and stayed
parents'
quiet.
kids.
But after a while, she started getting bored. Burning joss paper isn't exactly thrilling when you're a kid. So Maggie quietly wandered over to a nearby bench, not too far from where her mom was crouched, still feeding paper into the flame. She sat there, waiting, and just watching her mom finish burning the rest of the offerings. And honestly, she was being really well behaved, just like she promised. No running, no complaints. She just sat there quietly on the bench, counting down the minutes until she could go and pick out her reward from the candy store. As Maggie sat there on the bench, swinging her legs and watching the little fire flicker in her mom's metal basin, she started to notice something strange. People were coming over, not just one or two, but a lot of people,
Yep.
quietly, from seemingly nowhere. And they weren't just gathering around her mom's basin, they were crowding around all of the metal buckets where offerings were being burned. Maggie looked around.
I mean, it's called the Hungry Ghost Month for a reason. They're hungry.
Her mom wasn't the only one burning offerings. There were a few other neighborhood aunties there too, each with their own metal basin set up along the sidewalk. But now,
I mean, here in our little part of Asia, we have the something equivalent of Araw del Muerte, Day of the Dead. But instead of actually feeding the dead, we simply light the way for them, or we simply make sure that, we light candles for them in front of the houses. Of course, it varies from region to region, from province to province, but from where I grew up, and we simply light the candles for them, supposedly light the way for them to keep on moving.
all of these basins were surrounded. Dozens of people have gathered. They stood so close, staring down at the flame, not speaking, not blinking. It was like they had appeared out of thin air, Looking back as she's grown up now, she's pretty sure what she saw that day were a ton of spirits
Yep.
gathering to collect the offerings. But at the time as it was happening, these all just looked like normal people to her. After the burning was done, Maggie and her mom walked to the candy store, just like they promised. As they strolled along, Maggie asked casually, "Mommy, why were there so many people watching you burn stuff earlier?"
They're pretty
Her
chill,
mom looked at her
actually.
puzzled. "A lot of people? What are you talking about, Maggie?" "Yeah," Maggie
Yeah.
said. "When I was sitting on the bench, I saw a whole bunch of people surrounding you. Like a lot of people." Her mom's face suddenly went pale. She stopped.
If you guys had babysit, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have experienced babysitting, but what really freaks me out is if you babysit a literal baby and that baby stares a little bit too hard into a corner or something in the middle of the day. It's really creepy.
walking for a moment and then
Yeah.
hissed quietly.
Or like when your
Wait.
dog is barking at something, or at like a dark section of the house.
"Stop, Maggie. Don't say things like that. Not during this time of the month."
Nope.
At the store, Maggie picked out her candy. Her mom paid, and they went back home. That night, her mom came down with a fever. As Maggie got older, she learned more about things like this. This was pretty normal, and it wasn't anything bad,
Pretty chill,
meaning
actually.
nothing followed them home, thank goodness. It wasn't a curse or anything like that. In Asian culture, it's believed that spirits give off a kind of energy called yamhei,
Yum, hey.
which is like somewhat of a negative energy, and if too many spirits gather too close at once, that heavy energy can overwhelm the person,
So something like a Dementor.
which is most likely what happened as they swarmed around that metal basin that day. The next day, Maggie's mom was still feeling unwell, so she stayed home and rested in bed. It was the weekend, and Maggie was getting bored, so she asked, "Mommy, can I go play outside with the other kids?"
There are no
Her
other
mom,
kids.
still weak, but not wanting to keep her cooped up, nodded. "Okay, just be careful, alright? And don't talk nonsense again outside." So Maggie headed down to the local park with a couple of kids from her building. It was just a
I
typical
mean, will she see the JJ again?
afternoon. They ran around, played tag, and climbed on the playground bars. Around them, the neighborhood aunties were still burning offerings in metal basins. The smell of smoke and incense lingered in the warm air. As they played, Maggie suddenly said, "Hey, did you guys know that when the Joss paper notes go flying in the street, you're not supposed to pick them up?"
Ah,
The other kids looked up at her, wide-eyed. "My mom said you shouldn't touch them. They're for the dead," she continued.
you're not supposed to mess
Then
with
she
it.
grinned. "But are you guys brave enough to pick one up?"
Typical. But here's the thing. I'm not really sure what happened in Chinese culture. What happens to the offerings afterwards. But here at home, people literally just eat them afterwards, or graveyard keepers just eat them afterwards. That's it. And apparently
Kids all
nothing
shook
bad
their
happens to
heads.
them.
Even at their age, they knew better. Every parent in the neighborhood had drilled it into them. Never mess with the offering paper.
Yep,
But Maggie? She wasn't convinced. "Well,
she's
I'm
brave.
not scared," she said proudly. She marched over to the sidewalk, where some of the unburned Joss paper had blown out of one of the auntie's basins and scattered across the ground. She bent down and scooped up a few of the bills in her hands. "Look," she
Of
shouted.
course.
"See? I'm not a scaredy cat like you guys." She waved the bills around
So don't do that for the simple reason that you're taking it away from them and you don't want beef with these spirits.
playfully, flaunting them like they were treasure. Maggie eventually tossed the paper bills back on the ground before heading home. Yeah, picking them up was dumb, but she wasn't that dumb. She knew better than to actually bring them back with her.
Yep.
By now, it was close to 7 p.m. The sun had dipped low.
Never bring it back home. One of our traditions here is that if you've been to a funeral, don't go home directly or else the spirit might follow you. What you do is after you've been to the funeral, you go somewhere else. You hang out for like a couple of minutes or like, have dinner somewhere else or something after you go to a funeral. Just don't go home directly. Don't go back home directly unless less death follows you.
And the streets were starting to empty out. Just a few kids still hanging around outside, the stragglers. Maggie decided to head back inside, but as she was walking toward her building, she noticed something. There was a man,
Ah.
a strange man, walking a little ways behind her.
I'm sorry. I still can't get over that 90s timestamp. Oh my god. Almost all of our family pictures have this timestamp.
Not close, but not far enough either.
Yeah.
She glanced back once, then again. And even at her age, her instincts kicked in.
It has
Her
to.
mom had always drilled it into her head.
Stranger
You're
danger.
a girl. You always have to be aware. Always know if someone is following you. And today, someone was. Maggie didn't
Always that negative space to portray dread.
panic. She didn't run, but she definitely didn't go straight
Keep
home
calm,
either.
carry on.
When she reached her
Move
floor,
faster.
she made a beeline for her friend's apartment instead. Someone who lived a few doors down from hers. She didn't want this man to know where she lived.
Yep,
She knocked quickly.
there we go. She did the right thing, lest death follows her home.
Her
Let it
friend
be
came to
someone
the
else's
door.
problem.
The front door opened, but not the metal security gate yet. They spoke through the bars. Her friend started reaching to unlock it, about to let her in, when suddenly, a voice boomed from deeper inside the apartment. Don't open the door!
Ah,
It was her friend's dad, and he was rushing to the front now. He grabbed the gate, looked straight at Maggie and shouted, Maggie, go home right now! And
of
then,
course they knew.
he shut the door in her face. Confused and a little shaken, Maggie looked around to make sure the strange man wasn't nearby. He was gone, so she made her way home.
That was
That
enough.
night, it was her turn to come down with a fever.
Ah,
It hit her hard. She was weak,
of
burning
course
up,
she's a kid.
in and out of sleep for days. Her mom nursed her back to health, until Maggie finally recovered. Once Maggie was all better, her mom snapped. She pointed a finger at her, eyes wide with fear and anger.
You
Maggie.
did something.
What did you do? She shouted. You did something you weren't supposed to do, didn't
That she
you?
did.
Maggie backed away,
Speaking of picking stuff up, like guys, if you're in Asia, right, and you see some sort of house paper, similar to something that she picked up, basically it's a red. It looks like a red, it's a small red envelope with a deity on it. If you ever find yourself in Hong Kong, Taiwan, basically anywhere else in Asia with the predominantly or with at least with a large Chinese community, if ever you see something on the ground like that, a red small envelope, do not pick it up, alright? Because they need a ghost bride or a ghost husband for a dead relative or something. Don't pick it up. That's how they get you. That's how they choose a ghost bride or a ghost husband or something.
I didn't do anything, she insisted. I swear I didn't. But her mom wasn't buying it. She continued, Do you know who came to talk to me yesterday? Your friend's dad.
Your friend's
The one who
dad.
slammed the door in your face. Do you know why he did that? Maggie froze. She hadn't even thought about it since that night. She just assumed the dad was being mean or something. Apparently, her friend's dad has yum
Ah,
a
it
third
never
eye.
glows.
He can see most things people can't. And the day that Maggie was knocking on their door, he saw something behind her.
Of course.
As she stood there waiting to be let in, there was a cloud of black mass hovering right behind her. A spirit. It had followed her home.
It tried
That's
to
why he
follow her
yelled.
home.
That's why he slammed the door. It wasn't because of Maggie. It was because he didn't know if letting Maggie in
It's
would
going to
also
be
let
safe.
that thing in. He might have the third eye, but that doesn't mean he knows how to deal with the spirits.
Or he knows how to
He's
fight
only
it.
able to see them. After the scolding, Maggie's mom didn't waste any time.
Temple. Bring her to
She
temple.
brought Maggie down to a small temple nearby. One of those quiet neighborhood ones.
There we go.
With
See?
incense curling through the air.
Those red things, do not pick them up from the ground, alright? Let someone else handle them. Lest you be a ghost bride or a ghost husband.
And the old ladies sitting behind little stalls. They stopped at one of those stalls to talk to one of the old ladies. Her mom explained what happened, that Maggie had been sick, that something might have followed her home.
Ah.
The old lady listened carefully and finally said, She must have done something to upset the spirits. That's when Maggie, feeling guilty and a little scared, finally confessed. She told him that she picked up some of that
Of
Joss
course she
money
did.
and that she played with it, mocked it, waved it around before tossing it back on the ground.
Ah.
The old lady
She
nodded
got
slowly.
beef.
It's alright, little girl, she said. It's not a huge offense. The spirit wasn't trying to hurt you. It was just trying to teach you a lesson.
Warning.
Still, just to be safe, her mom made a small donation. The old
It's
lady did
always
some
a
light
donation.
prayers, burned a few more offerings, just to appease whoever or whatever might have felt disrespected. And that was that. Maggie got a few small protective talismans to keep on her. And after that, she never, ever picked up Joss paper
Lesson
again.
learned.
Lesson learned. Alright, so as promised, I'll go back and talk a little bit about what Hungry Ghost Month actually is, for anyone that's curious.
Yep.
So the actual time this occurs is different each year because it falls on the 7th month of the lunar calendar. So this year in 2025, it will run from July 25th through August 23rd, with Hungry Ghost Day being on August 9th. So definitely don't stay out late on the 9th. So it's believed that during this month, the gates of the underworld open up, and the spirits are free to roam the human world,
Really?
to visit family, to seek food, to seek...
Because here at home, it's like September 6 or September 7. Well, again, depending on which side of the hemisphere you're on.
forgiveness, or even vengeance. Hungry ghosts are souls of people who died violently, alone, or without a proper burial, so they're often believed to be bitter and lost. During this time, ghost stories spike up, with people reporting hauntings and weird sightings. So that's just a little quick background on what Hungry Ghost Month actually is. Thanks for listening to this week's episode, and I'll see you again next week.
Bye! Oh, by the way, we're doing Warhammer this week. We're going back to our regularly programmed schedule. Alright, I'll see you guys around, okay? Bye! Thank you for watching, guys. So if you want me to check out other stories here on YouTube, please let me know in the comments. We upload on the weekends, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, check out our Twitch channel where you can watch me do this live. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do the whole notification button thing to help me out with the algo, and class dismissed.